Is it expensive to live in Indian Wells? Did the cost of living in Indian Wells increase in 2022? If you're wondering, stay tuned. Let's find out. Hi there, I'm Burchard, the Desert Boatar Realtor here in the Indian Wells area. So how much does it really cost to live in Indian Wells? Well, the good news is the cost of living in Indian Wells is 34% lower than the California average. The bad news is the cost of living in Indian Wells is 74.7% higher than the national average. So let's take a look at some of the costs here, starting with housing costs. Prices for homes really increased this past year. A lot of this was caused by the high demand and low inventory of homes for sale, as well as the low interest rates. The average home cost in Indian Wells is currently $1.7 million. Indian Wells doesn't even touch the average housing cost in California, which is about 170% higher than the national average. Still, if you want to buy a home in the beautiful state of California, you will find that this is one of the highest residential home markets in the country. Utility costs. Utilities in Indian Wells aren't ridiculous, but they aren't cheap either. The utility price in Indian Wells is just 4.7% higher than the national average, but the good news is that the weather here most of the year is incredible. You rarely need to turn on the heat. Yes, dry desert heat does make it hot here in the summer, so you'll need air conditioning. That means higher electricity costs for a good portion of the year. Compared to some of the other expenses on this analysis of cost of living in Indian Wells, though, utilities are still palatable. Transportation costs. While we do have public transportation, and it is widely available here in the Indian Wells area, most people have a car as their primary transportation mode. Keeping with the trend, the cost of transportation in Indian Wells is about 48.6% higher than the U.S. average. Gas, tolls, auto taxes, and vehicle repairs are higher here than the average. That's not as high as some cities, but higher than most. Surprisingly, the average one-way commute in the Indian Wells area takes anywhere from 12 to 20 minutes. That's shorter than the U.S. average of 26.4 minutes. Grocery costs. No matter where you live, Indian Wells, the good news is groceries aren't too expensive. They aren't super cheap either, but at 103.5%, that's 3.5% higher than the U.S. average. That won't completely drain your bank account. Groceries, being one of the most significant expenses for many families, not paying crazy prices for them is appreciated. Healthcare costs. One surprise about Indian Wells is that healthcare costs here are affordable. That's the good news for many of the folks here who move here, being that they are retired. It's also good news for young families who tend to visit the doctor in the emergency room a tad more often. Indian Wells is fortunate to have a number of good healthcare providers and healthcare systems. The area is a health-conscious community with access to lots of outdoor recreation and exercise opportunities, including hiking trails, biking, swimming, tennis, and golf, just to name a few. There's no denying that Indian Wells is one of America's more expensive places to live. The cost of living in Indian Wells is high. The main reason for this is the cost of housing, but transportation and utilities costs don't help the matter either. Still, Indian Wells is decidedly beautiful, with fantastic scenery, excellent weather, and a wide variety of amenities. In short, if you can afford it, Indian Wells is an amazing place to live, work, raise a family, or retire. If you have any questions about the cost of living in Indian Wells, please let me know. If you're thinking about buying or selling in the Indian Wells area, please give me a call, text, or email. All my information is below. Don't forget to like and comment on my video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget the little bell so you don't miss my next video. Now, I'll see you on my next video. I don't know where I left off, so I'm just going to repeat. Hello?